I was reborn in the 5th year of my marriage, right at the moment Lu Zecheng claimed to have amnesia. I only remember being deeply in love with your sister, Su-hee, he said, clutching his head, his expression pained. My son tugged at my hand. Mommy, don't blame Daddy, he just wants to take care of Auntie. Auntie is such a good person, Mommy wouldn't want to see her all alone, right? The system popped up, just like in my last life. Host, amnesia is no big deal. You succeeded last time, you can do it again. Just win over the devoted second male lead and your son one more time. I calmly lit a slim cigarette, turned the family photo of the three of us face down, and glanced at the picture of the Yandere villain on my phone. System, I remember I can change my target, right? Huh? The system was stunned. You have one chance to change your target that you never used, but why would you? Lu Zecheng only has amnesia. Besides, you two already have a son. If you change targets now, what about your son Lu Ze? No, I don't agree. Heh. Amnesia. In my last life, I fell for Lu Zecheng's bullshit, trying everything to help him recover his memories and make him fall in love with me again. Instead, I witnessed his feelings for Su-hee grow deeper and deeper. I'm sorry, maybe we really did have many wonderful memories, but I don't remember any of them now. My heart is only filled with Su-hee. No matter how hard I tried, all he had for me was the apology one gives a stranger. He even wanted to negotiate a divorce. And our son, Lu Ze, was a carbon copy of a young Lu Zecheng. While I was in agony over my failure to retrieve Lu Zecheng's memories, while I insisted on saving our marriage, he stood firmly by his father's side. Mommy, you always tell me to be helpful. Why are you angry when Daddy helps Auntie? You're being so selfish and annoying. Even my own parents tried to persuade me. Why are you torturing yourself like this? The person Zecheng loves now is your sister. He can't remember you, so why cling to a marriage that's already dead? Besides, Ze likes your sister too. Even if you and Zecheng divorce, we'll all still be family. Later, they began to blame me. Your sister is divorced, she's so pitiful. How can you not feel for her at all? She and Zecheng are in love now, and it's only because you won't divorce him that she has to bear the stigma of being a homewrecker. She's your sister. How can you be so selfish? Eventually, long-term depression made me ill. When I went to the hospital, I saw Lu Zecheng supporting Su-hee. Su-hee was sobbing in his arms. Zecheng, can't you just tell Su-ran you faked the amnesia? He paused. We were married for 5 years after all. I'm afraid that would hurt her too much. But she keeps dragging her feet on the divorce. My belly is getting bigger. How can I face anyone? How will the baby face anyone when it's born? Su-hee wailed. So Lu Zecheng never had amnesia at all. The so-called amnesia was just an excuse for his affair with Su-hee. And I, like a fool, thought he loved me, even trying to help him recover his so-called memories. That day, I returned to our empty home alone and developed a high fever during the night. I called Lu Zecheng, Lu Ze, and my parents. No one answered. They were all celebrating Su-hee's birthday. The group chat was flooded with one festive photo after another. I raised my hand and typed a few words into the chat. I'm dying. The group chat fell silent. Then Su-hee's call came through. Ranran, are you skipping my birthday party on purpose? Do you hate me that much? Her voice was choked with tears. If she doesn't want to come, then don't. Who does she think she is? My father's voice came through the receiver. Saying she's dying, who is she trying to disgust? My mother added. Auntie, don't worry about my mom. It's midnight, come blow out the candles. Lu Ze's voice chirped. The other end of the line erupted in laughter and joy. As the phone slowly slipped from my hand, I heard a mechanical voice. Host's side story pursuit has failed. Final ending pursuit has failed. However, due to achieving the marriage milestone mid-game and valid point redemption, a one-time rebirth opportunity with the original system is granted. Auto-initiating in 5, 4, 3, 2. So this was a side story. I finally understood. No wonder the system said nothing when I told it I wanted to stay after we got married. I had never truly succeeded in my pursuit, nor had I ever escaped the confines of the plot. In the side story, the female lead divorces the original male lead and ends up with the devoted second male lead, who, despite being married, still loves her. And I was just the villainess in this side story, a stumbling block on their path to love, a catalyst for their romance. Someone whose death no one would even care about. Just then, Lu Zecheng and Lu Ze returned. The moment he saw me, Lu Ze rushed to stand in front of his father. Mommy, don't you dare drag Daddy into talking about the past again today. He's exhausted. Yes, he must be exhausted. Su-hee's divorce was finalized today, and he had taken Lu Ze to help her move. The thought made me laugh out loud. Lu Zecheng frowned slightly. Su Ran, what are you laughing at? His gaze fell on the cigarette between my fingers. After all, the old me never smoked. You know, Lu Zecheng, I said, crossing my legs and leisurely blowing a smoke ring. Back when I used to read novels, I always loved the devoted second male lead. Thinking about it now, what devoted second male lead? He's just a simp. I pointed at him, then at Lu Ze. I just didn't expect that the son of a simp would also be a simp. I guess that stuff is hereditary. What dog? Lu Ze froze. Mommy, what are you saying? How can you call your own son a dog? Su Ran, don't act like this just because I went to help Su He today, Lu Zecheng said impatiently. How can you be jealous of your own sister? Besides, I spend every day trying to find my memories with you. I need a day off too. That won't be necessary, I said. What? I stubbed out the cigarette in a glass of water and pushed the divorce papers across the table to him. I've thought it through. If the memories are gone, they're gone. It's no big deal. I've already drafted the divorce agreement, and I've recently found my next prospect. Let's do each other a favor and get divorced. What did you say? Lu Zecheng was stunned. Host, calm down. You can't handle that Yandere villain Shen Junheng. He's a really bad guy. You can't change your target. That's right, I want a really bad guy. I smiled at the system. Otherwise, who would help me, the villainess, take down the Lu and Su families? You said, Lu Zecheng said in disbelief, you have a next prospect. He stared at me, blurting out, how is that possible? Yes, in Lu Zecheng's eyes, it was indeed impossible. If Lu Zecheng was Su He's simp, then the old me was Lu Zecheng's. I put him first in everything, staying by his side when he was down, caring for him when he was unwell. I even stayed up for days and nights, changing cold compresses for him when he had a fever, just to make him feel better. Su Ran, can you stop making a scene? Lu Zecheng's face darkened as he threw the divorce papers on the table. I told you I have amnesia. Whether you're faking this divorce drama and making up a next prospect to make me jealous or possessive, the current me doesn't have a single. Lu Corporation was built up by both of us after we got married. I want 30% of the shares. I don't want the child. I walked to the door, my face impassive. Just sign, and we can go to the Civil Affairs Bureau immediately. He froze again. What's a divorce? Does that mean Auntie is going to be my new mommy? Lu Ze asked blankly. I ignored the father and son, opened the door, and walked out. Host, what on earth are you doing? Lu Zecheng just has amnesia. He has feelings for you. You're hurting him so much by doing this. The system chattered endlessly in my ear. Hey, system, do you think I should put on some makeup before I go to Shen Corporation? What? Where are you going? No, you absolutely cannot go see that Yandere villain. You'll regret it to death. Beep. I used 20 points to mute the system. Too noisy. I bought a new outfit and went to a salon to get my makeup done beautifully. You look so beautiful today, madam. Are you and your husband celebrating a special anniversary? The makeup artist, who recognized me, asked sweetly. I'm preparing to have an affair, I said, patting the pearl earrings I had designed, pleased with myself. Haha, you're so funny, madam. On second thought, I didn't take my own car. I hailed a cab to the Shen Corporation Tower. Who are you looking for? Do you have an appointment? The receptionist asked when she saw me. Please inform Mr. Shen. I smiled. That Su Ran of Lu Corporation is here to deliver him a great gift. In the CEO's office of Shen Corporation. Mr. Shen's office is quite large, just a bit empty, I remarked, sitting on the sofa and looking around. Mrs. Lu, my time is quite valuable. Shen Junheng sat behind his desk, legs crossed, his expression grim. I know, aren't you busy competing with Lu Corporation? I smiled. What if I said I was willing to come over and pledge my allegiance to you, Mr. Shen? Would you have me? He paused for a moment, then suddenly laughed. I've long heard that Mrs. Lu is deeply devoted to Mr. Lu. I never expected you'd be willing to use yourself as bait and come to my company for the sake of Lu Corporation. He stood up and walked closer, planting his hands on either side of me, his eyes dangerous. Aren't you afraid of walking alone into the enemy's den of wolves, only to be devoured until not even a scrap is left? Our eyes met. After a long, quiet moment, I burst out laughing. I'm not afraid. Since you know I'm the kind of person who would do anything for her husband, why not marry me? After all, you know a romantic like me is willing to devote everything to her lover. Besides, the design team I have is quite good. He didn't speak, but I knew he was tempted. Not by me, but by the resources I controlled. In fact, Shen Junhang and I were old acquaintances of a sort. His Shen Corporation was Lu Corporation's rival, and had caused Lu Zecheng no small amount of trouble in the business world. In my original world, I was a reasonably well-known designer. Shen Junhang had once pushed Lu Corporation to the brink of bankruptcy, and its first pot of gold for its revival came from the jewelry line I designed. Over the years, Lu Corporation and Shen Corporation had clashed many times, with wins and losses on both sides. And Shen Junhang was the person Lu Zecheng hated most. After a moment, he straightened up. Mrs. Lu is indeed quite attractive, but I'm not interested in married women. What if I divorce Lu Zecheng? I stood up, took a step closer, and looked up at him. He seemed slightly taken aback. Oh, then that's a different story, he smiled. But Mrs. Lu, you should know, I don't tolerate traitors, he said, reaching out to lift my chin. In my eyes, marriage is indeed a valid contract, but if you want to marry me, you'll need to show some sincerity. 30% of Lu Corporation's shares, and my design team. I'll bring them with me when I marry you. I smiled. Can you handle that, Mr. Shen? Shen Junhang agreed to my terms. In the following days, I simply moved out of the house and began preparing for life after the divorce. Lu Zecheng and Lu Zai didn't look for me. They were probably busy fawning over Suhi. One day, I went back to retrieve a design draft I had forgotten. When I opened the door, I found the house bustling with activity. Lu Zai was in Suhi's arms, wiping away tears of grievance. My parents looked furious, and Lu Zecheng's face was dark. You have the nerve to come back? Who knows where you've been fooling around? My mother scolded me the moment she saw me. You don't care about your child, you don't care about your husband. How did I raise a daughter like you? If he hadn't been helping take care of Zai lately, we wouldn't have known he was being bullied so badly at kindergarten. What kind of mother are you? How could you side with an outsider? I frowned. Suhi immediately walked over, speaking softly. Ranran, it's not my place to criticize, but Zai was being bullied by another child at kindergarten. How could you make him apologize first? Think of the psychological scar that will leave on him. He was in the wrong, why shouldn't he apologize first? He called the other kid a poor wretch and his parents useless. The boy got angry and hit him, and Zai didn't lose out. He's the one who ended up breaking the other boy's nose, I said. What do you mean he didn't lose out? Suhi's voice remained gentle. He's been so sullen these past few days when I've picked him up, but it doesn't matter anymore. I've already given that family money, and they immediately had their son apologize to Zai. What? I was stunned. Don't you think that's incredibly unfair to that child? He was the victim, but because his parents took the money, he has to apologize. He should apologize to me. Mommy, you're biased. You're a bad guy. You're not my mommy. I want a new mommy. Lu Zai charged at me, trying to hit me, but Suhi held him back. You see, the child's heart is broken, Suhi said, crouching down to wipe away the 2 tears Lu Zai had managed to squeeze out. I was speechless. You really think this is good for his upbringing? That's enough. We all agree with He's approach, my father said, walking over. His voice was stern. You didn't grow up with us, so we were neglectful in your upbringing. That's why you've grown into such an irresponsible wife and mother. If you can't raise the child, then let He do it. I think she's far more competent than you. I had to laugh, it was so infuriating. They just couldn't wait, could they? I turned to Lu Zecheng. And you agree with what they've done. The matter is over, he said, standing up. Don't keep harping on it. Hurry up and make dinner. Daddy works so hard outside all day, how can you have the nerve to be out all the time? We're starving. Lu Zai started wailing again. Forget it. I took a deep breath. Lu Zecheng, have you signed the divorce papers? Papers? What papers? Suhi seemed unaware of the matter. But her eyes darted, and she quickly ran to the table and picked up the divorce agreement. Ranran, you want a divorce, and you're demanding 30% of Lu Corporation's shares. She stared with wide, watery eyes. Don't you think? That's going too far. How can you be so greedy? Too far? Greedy? I looked at her. When Lu Zecheng and I got married, Lu Corporation was on the verge of bankruptcy. It was my jewelry designs that brought it back to life, and it was me who built the current design team. How am I not worthy of these 30%? But you quit managing the company after Zai was born. Lu Corporation's success today is all thanks to Zecheng's hard work, bit by bit. How can you shamelessly claim the credit? Neglecting your home, demanding a divorce, and trying to extort money from your husband's family. It's a disgrace for the Su family to have a daughter like you, my father added angrily. You haven't seen my contributions over the years, so what right do you have to say I'm not worthy? When did I ever stop managing the company? I'm a designer, and I accompanied Lu Zecheng to one business dinner after another. When he drank, I drank. I drank just as much as he did. I couldn't help but shout. Enough, Lu Zecheng suddenly roared. Everyone fell silent. Su Ran, 30% is indeed too much, he said calmly. There's no way I can agree to that. I suddenly started laughing. You all are absolutely disgusting. I turned, found my design draft, slammed the door, and left. I never wanted to see anyone in that house ever again. It was raining outside, and I didn't have an umbrella. See, I told you not to make a scene. How are you going to fix this now? It'll be much harder to get Lu Zecheng to forgive you. The system chattered on. Be quiet for a minute. I found an empty spot and crouched down. Rainwater streamed down my hair. I hugged my knees, feeling a chill run through my body. Even though this was a world of pursuits, I had treated everyone here with sincerity, genuinely considering them family. Although I had long known I'd fallen for a scumbag, at this moment, I still felt it was all for nothing. All those years I had invested, all for nothing. It seems Mrs. Lu's path to divorce isn't going so smoothly. An umbrella suddenly appeared over my head. I looked up, it was Shen Junheng. He just stood there, holding the umbrella, looking down at me. Sorry, I couldn't get the 30% of the shares, I said with a self-deprecating laugh. Just forget everything I said before, Mr. Shen. He paused for a moment, then suddenly crouched down. Actually, I think I'm starting to get a little interested in you, Su Ran. Want to try a different game? I don't want the 30% anymore. He took out a tissue and began to wipe the rain from my hair. You marry me, and together we'll bankrupt Lu Corporation. Host, don't be rash. Wait. Bang, I shoved open the door to the Lu Corporation CEO's office. Divorce. I slapped the new divorce agreement down in front of Lu Zecheng. He frowned. I don't want any shares. I'll leave with nothing. Can you sign it now? What new madness is this? He asked, pinching the bridge of his nose. I told you, I've already found my next prospect. I'm in a hurry to get married, so we need to get divorced immediately. He suddenly laughed, slowly pulling a stack of papers from his drawer. Su Ran, your car's dashcam shows that while you weren't home these past few days, you were just at the apartment you lived in before we were married. Your movements are very simple, so simple, it's as if you have nowhere else to go. He closed the file, his gaze certain. You don't have a next prospect at all. All this drama is just you trying to get my attention by threatening divorce. I suddenly understood the profound helplessness of the person who invented the idiom, playing a lute to a cow. I sat down, lit a slim cigarette, and made a call to Suhi. After her divorce, Lu Zecheng had arranged a job for her at Lu Corporation. Why are you calling her? To come up for a chat. As expected, Suhi arrived quickly. Ranran, what are you doing? Zecheng is very tired from work. You already made everyone at home very unhappy last time. This is the office. You can't just throw a tantrum here. Shut your mouth and just listen. I cut her off. Lu Zecheng, I turned, flicking the ash from my cigarette and looked at him with a smile. Now that everyone's here, let's talk. You can't bear to part with me, can you? What? He was stunned. You keep saying you've forgotten me and only remember Suhi, but when I want a divorce, you're unwilling. Isn't it because you can't let me go? You don't actually like Suhi that much, do you? Or is the amnesia fake? You actually remember everything about our time together, which is why you won't sign the divorce papers, right? I looked at Suhi. What should I do? I had no idea he was so in love with me. Shut up, Lu Zecheng cut me off sharply. Zecheng, Suhi's wide, watery eyes immediately turned to him. His face was utterly grim. After a long moment he spoke, his fists clenched. Su Ran, I was taking pity on you. I felt that since we were married once and you had nowhere else to go, that's why I didn't want to sign. I haven't remembered you and I don't miss you. To me, you're just a stranger. You want a divorce that badly? Fine, I'll grant you your wish. He waved his hand and, as if in a fit of pique, signed his name on the agreement. But don't you regret it? Fearing he might change his mind, I dragged him to the Civil Affairs Bureau right after he signed. We get the divorce certificate in a month. Don't be late. He gave me a cold look and walked away. What is he so angry about? Wasn't he the one who desperately wanted a divorce in our last life? I muttered, watching his retreating back, completely baffled. What last life? The system asked, confused. Oh, right. This system didn't have memories of the last life. A few days later, Shen Junheng called and gave me an address. I went, and it was a bridal shop. Welcome, Miss Su. Mr. Shen specifically instructed us to help you try on any gown you like. When I married Lu Zecheng, I wore a gown with a long train because he liked it, and I wanted to make him happy. But personally, I preferred a mermaid-style dress. This time, I was going to make myself happy. I spent the afternoon trying on dresses at the shop, took a few photos, and sent them to Shen Junheng. "You like mermaid dresses," he replied quickly. "It suits you." Just then my phone rang. Thinking it was Shen Junheng, I answered without a second thought. "Zhe has a fever, you need to come back right now." It was Lu Zecheng's voice. I took a deep breath, forcing myself to stay calm. "We're divorced. Lu Zhe is your responsibility. You're his father, can't you take care of him?" "Ranran, there's a bond between a mother and child. The boy is in so much pain, how can you say something so cold-hearted?" It was Su-hee. She was there, that made things easier. "I can't make it," I said patiently. "Sister, don't you love Zhe the most? Then let me tell you, when he's sick, he needs you to hold him all the time, sing him lullabies all night like he's a baby, and you need to check his temperature every half hour. Oh, and he has a very hard time taking medicine. He'll spit it out everywhere on purpose. But don't worry, you'll just have to prepare the medicine a few more times and take a few more showers." "I don't have any experience. Why are you telling me all this? You're his mother, of course you should come back and take care of him." Zhe, don't throw up on Auntie." "Su-hee," my voice turned cold. "What do you think raising a child is? Is it just secretly giving him candy when he's all dressed up, spoiling him, indulging him, and hearing him sweetly say he likes you? It's not. Raising a child is sleepless night after sleepless night. It's taking care of them over and over again. It's endless repetition. It's being so busy you don't have time to use the bathroom, eat, or even sleep. You wanted to be Lu Zhe's mother, didn't you? Then you have to do all of this. Su Ran, the child is so miserable. He keeps crying for his mommy. Do you really have to argue about these petty things right now?" Lu Zecheng's voice was filled with anger. "I told you I'm busy. What could you possibly be so busy with? Miss Su, for the wedding dress, we'll need to take in the waist a bit more correct." A staff member walked over and asked with a smile. The other end of the line went completely silent. "What are you doing?" Lu Zecheng's voice seemed to be laced with thick disbelief. I told him, word for word, "I'm trying on my wedding dress." In the days that followed, Lu Zecheng didn't call me again. Shen Junheng and I prepared for the wedding while also collaborating on the next design and marketing plan for Shen's jewelry. Returning to the professional world was exhilarating. New ideas were constantly popping into my head, and I often found myself talking with Shen Junheng late into the night. A month later, Lu Zecheng and I met to get our divorce certificate. "You really have a next prospect?" he asked, staring at me at the entrance of the Civil Affairs Bureau. "I do. Betraying our marriage, don't you feel any guilt towards me?" he suddenly asked. I couldn't help but laugh. "Not at all. After all, you don't remember anything except Su-hee," I shrugged. "Since you've forgotten, and I'm the only one who remembers, it's not very interesting. It's better if we both just find someone new." Zecheng. Su-hee, wearing a small floral dress, trotted over and affectionately took Lu Zecheng's arm. "Are you done? Zhe and I are waiting for you to come home for dinner." Not yet. Let's hurry up." I took the lead and walked into the Civil Affairs Bureau. "Are you too sure about this?" the staff member asked. "Yes," I said. Lu Zecheng, however, remained silent. "Sir." Su Ran, he suddenly turned back. "Are you really sure? Once we get this certificate, the two of us will have nothing to do with each other anymore." I sighed. "Lu Zecheng, can you stop dawdling? Su-hee is waiting for you outside, buddy." "I just want to know," he continued, ignoring me, "you say you want a divorce just like that. Does our 5-year marriage really mean nothing to you? We even have a child. Are Zhe and I so unworthy of you staying?" I quietly looked at this man I had loved for so many years. In my last life, I didn't want a divorce, and he found me clingy. In this life, I initiated the divorce, and now he's upset that I can move on. The protagonists really get to have it all, don't they? No, the past 5 years were very precious to me. His head snapped up, a flicker of light in his eyes. After all, I used those 5 years to understand a simple truth. Simps never win. I patted his shoulder, my tone earnest. A lesson for us both. In the end, Lu Zecheng's face was grim all the way, until we walked out with the divorce certificate. Finally done. "It took so long, was it crowded?" Su-hee asked, clinging to his arm. "It was fine." Just then Lu Zecheng's phone rang. He answered, and his face changed dramatically. "Su Ran," he grabbed my arm. "You had the entire design team resign." "I did." Why so nervous, Mr. Lu?" I smiled. Didn't you build Lu Corporation with your own hard work? What difference can one missing design team make? We were married, after all. How could you be so treacherous? Zecheng, don't be angry. Didn't I study design too? It's just one design team. I can build you a new one, Suhi said, trying to soothe him. But he brushed her hand away. Su Ran, did you do this on purpose? The autumn new product launch is just around the corner, and at a time like this, you. So noisy. Such a big deal over nothing. I ignored him and looked towards the side of the road. Here, over here, I waved my arms at a car in the distance. Shen Junheng, over here. A Bugatti pulled up in front of me. Shen Junheng, wearing sunglasses, got out of the car. All done. MMM'd. Lu Zecheng was aghast. Shen Junheng, what are you doing here? Shen Junheng glanced at him. I'm here to pick up my fiancé. Fiancé, he was stunned looking at me. Her. Shen Junheng pulled me into his arms. Mr. Lu, from now on, please address her as Mrs. Shen. You, Su Ran, you, how could you? He seemed so enraged that he broke into a violent coughing fit. Suhi quickly supported him, patting his back. Shen Junheng and I exchanged a look and got into the Bugatti. They seem pretty pissed off at you. Is it because the design team quit? I nodded. There's one more thing. When he finds out, he'll probably cough up blood. What is it? I sighed. Before the design team left, I had them water his favorite money tree by the entrance to death. The news that Shen Junheng and I were getting married spread quickly. Unexpectedly, the ones who reacted most strongly were my parents from the Su family. You can get a divorce, but why marry Zecheng's rival? Come back here right now and kneel down to apologize to Zecheng. Our family doesn't have a daughter like you. If you don't come back, we'll disown you. So, as they wished, I showed up at their door with a document to sever our parental relationship. Behind me were the bodyguards Shen Junheng had assigned me. Mr. Su, Mrs. Su, just sign here, and we will completely sever our parent-child relationship. Besides, they weren't really my parents anyway. Mrs. Su clutched her chest, wailing about what a sin it was, while Mr. Su, furious, signed his name. You think you've won by marrying that Shen Junheng? He's just an illegitimate son of the Shen family. When you get bullied and kicked out, don't even think about coming back to the Su family. Mommy is a traitor to the family. Lu Ze suddenly rushed out with a toy gun, shooting at me. I ignored him, motioned for the bodyguards to take his toy gun and toss it aside, and turned to leave. He wailed behind me. On my wedding day, I wore my favorite mermaid-style dress. Before going on stage, Shen Junheng asked me what I was thinking. I said, I used to genuinely want to be good to everyone, but now I understand that it's much happier to please myself. Shen Junheng nodded. When you encounter disgusting people, just don't treat them as human. It's not like they do human things anyway. I deeply agreed, feeling like I had found a kindred spirit. The wedding was grand, magnificent, and joyful. Except that late at night, when I was exhausted and already asleep, I was woken up by a phone call. Su Ran, I don't understand. What does Shen Junheng have that I don't? On the other end was a drunk Lu Zecheng. You could have chosen anyone, but you chose Shen Junheng. What is he? He's nothing compared to me, Lu Zecheng. I hung up the phone, my face impassive. The next time I saw Lu Zecheng was at a business reception. I was on Shen Junheng's arm, he was with Suhi. It could have been a harmonious scene, but he deliberately came over to provoke us. I've always wanted to ask Mr. Shen, what tricks did you use to deceive Su Ran? Shen Junheng smiled. You must be joking, Mr. Lu. We are a legally married couple. I don't know if it was the word legally or couple, but it seemed to set him off again. He disregarded the occasion and said, then Mr. Shen should know how in love we were for the past 5 years, and that we have an adorable son, right? Didn't Mr. Lu have amnesia? How do you remember being in love? Shen Junheng smiled. If she wasn't so unhappy, why would Ranran have divorced you the moment you lost your memory? You, he clenched his fists in anger. She was very happy with me. How would you know I was happy? Don't you have amnesia? I was getting impatient. I tilted my neck, and by chance, a small hickey was revealed. After all, last night, due to someone's excellent stamina, I hadn't slept much. When Lu Zecheng saw it, his eyes instantly turned red. Tired, shall we go back? Shen Junheng asked me. MMM'd. Ranran, he's deceiving you, don't you know? Mr. Lu, I turned back, my voice cold. We're not that close. I'd trouble you to call me Mrs. Shen. With that, I turned to leave. But at that moment, Lu Zecheng, ignoring Suhi's attempts to stop him, suddenly rushed forward, swinging his fist at Shen Junheng. Shen Junheng, you stole my wife, I'll kill you. The crowd erupted, instantly forming a circle around the two of them. Of course, his flimsy punch was easily caught by Shen Junheng. He even twisted his arm back like a pretzel. Amidst his yelps of pain, I heard Shen Junheng's voice, tinged with a smile. "Mr. Liu, if you have time to stand here shouting like the male lead in a romance novel, you might want to worry about the survival of Liu Corporation." I thought to myself, Shen Junheng is such a good person. Even at a time like this, he didn't forget to remind his rival. The farce ended, and Shen Junheng and I drove home. I was drowsy. He hesitated, then said, "Tonight." "Not tonight," I refused decisively. I was going to say, "Let's discuss the plan for the autumn launch tonight." "Oh, work, that's fine." I perked up instantly. Yes, Shen Junheng and I, though our marriage was something like a contract, were adults. We didn't awkwardly sleep in separate beds. We did what married couples do every day. The main theme was no drama, just happily living our lives together. After the reception, I didn't see Liu Zecheng for a long time. 3 months later, the autumn launch was a huge success. Shen's jewelry's market share in October surpassed Liu Corporation's for the first time. In November, Liu Corporation suddenly launched a new series called Devotion, with the new chief designer, Su He, as the lead designer. The Devotion series was well received upon its release, and Su He was even interviewed on television. She spoke eloquently to the camera. The Devotion series stems from my understanding of love. Its design concept is two hearts tightly connected. I took one look. Wasn't this a design draft I had casually done for a small foreign jeweler before I married Liu Zecheng? What dusty corner did she dig that out of? I called the small jeweler. They were shocked and immediately initiated legal action to protect their rights. A month later, the entire Devotion series was pulled from the shelves, and Liu Corporation was embroiled in an infringement lawsuit. Shen Junheng was very kind and lent his best lawyer to the jeweler, free of charge. At this time, I received a call from Mr. and Mrs. Su. "Your sister has been ruined by that old draft of yours. Why did you give her that draft?" I was baffled. "You need to come and testify in court that you gave the draft to your sister to use." I hung up and blacklisted them. After this incident, Liu Corporation was severely weakened. I heard that Liu Zecheng was furious about Su He's plagiarism, and the two of them entered a cold war. Perhaps feeling insecure, at a dinner party, Su He actually tried to get pregnant by drugging a drunk Liu Zecheng when she took him back to his room. To avoid being disturbed by Liu Zai, she casually gave him Liu Zecheng's phone to play with. Who knew that Liu Zai had the phone's password? To play a pretend CEO game, he opened the company's video conference. He ended up live streaming the entire process of how she drugged Liu Zecheng and tried to seduce him. The video quickly spread across the internet, becoming a source of morbid curiosity and gossip. A sober Liu Zecheng had a huge fight with Su He and cut off all business ties with the Su family. In the days that followed, my rapport with Shen Junheng grew stronger. Sometimes, I would look up in the middle of drawing, and he would already know I needed a glass of water. Under the combined pressure from Shen Junheng and me, Liu Corporation soon began to fail. The core design team had left, morale in other departments was low, and they lost several major contracts. Another year passed. At the spring new product launch, as the chief designer of Shen's, I went on stage to introduce my design concept. This time, the theme is self-love. People always pursue things they like, but we believe that when girls wear jewelry, it should, more than anything, be to make themselves happy. Therefore, we hope that for every girl who wears Shen's jewelry, the first person she loves is herself. Never waste time on people or things that aren't worth it, and always believe that you deserve better. Just like myself, I once had doubts, felt lost, and was in pain. But after I remarried, my husband treats me very well, and I am very happy. I hope that every girl can bravely move forward and seek her own happiness. The launch was a great success, and sales that night set a new record. That evening, I was holding a glass of red wine, resting with my eyes closed, when Shen Junheng suddenly swept me up into his arms. "You're back," I yawned. "MMM." I opened my eyes and met his burning gaze. "The launch went well," he said, tapping my nose. "Of course. After you remarried, your husband treats you very well, and you are very happy." I rolled my eyes at him. "What, you don't like being praised?" He chuckled softly. "Today, I suddenly felt," he said, seating me on his lap, "that you seem too dazzling. I kind of want to lock you up so only I can see you. What should I do?" The long silent system suddenly piped up. See, I told you he's a Yandere. He'll want to imprison you, possess you. You won't be happy with him." I waved a hand, spent 20 points, and muted it again. I was just thinking the same thing about you. I reached out, undid his tie, and wrapped it around his hands, loop by loop. System, how did I not notice a man like this in my last life? Dangerous and charming, honest and passionate. So much more fun than Lu Zecheng in every way. Just as I was thinking, the tie was suddenly snatched from my hands. Huh, when did he untie it? You're very disobedient. He raised a hand, used the tie to blindfold me, and a light kiss landed on my earlobe. But I like it. Lu Corporation's performance plummeted. Suhee started writing long, sob story posts online, crying about how Lu Zecheng had used and abandoned her. Lu Zecheng, in turn, accused Suhee of deliberately seducing him after her divorce, ruining both his marriage and his reputation. The two of them fought endlessly on social media. And Mr. and Mrs. Su, with the Su family business now bankrupt, latched onto Lu Zecheng, making scenes at Lu Corporation every day, claiming he had ruined Suhee's marriage and was now refusing to take responsibility for her. Unable to bear the harassment, Lu Zecheng, in an attempt to escape Suhee and her parents, jumped from a second-story balcony and broke his leg. That night, I was sleeping soundly when I received a call from an unknown number. The person on the other end seemed drunk, constantly telling me, "Ranran, I actually remember everything. I regret it, I really regret it." Shen Junheng was woken by the call. "Who is it?" I hung up, a spam call. A few days later, another call came. It was Mrs. Su. "Ranran, your birthday is coming up. Mom and Dad have made your favorite dishes. Come back and we'll celebrate as a family. Oh, and you can bring Junheng too." I replied calmly, "Auntie, do you need me to send you a copy of the document severing our parental relationship?" Then I hung up. Shen Junheng glanced at me. "You've been getting a lot of spam calls lately." I sighed and blacklisted the number. One day, Shen Junheng and I were passing by Lu Ze's kindergarten and saw him being bullied by some older kids. "Hey, isn't this the rich kid, Lu Ze? Why are you picking up trash?" Lu Ze started bawling. "My mommy is very rich. She married a rich man. Don't look down on me. I'll have my mommy come and beat you up." "Should we do something?" Shen Junheng asked me. I shook my head. "Let's go." Shen's jewelry business grew larger and larger. Suddenly, one day, a colleague from the PR department said that a live stream channel was selling counterfeit goods under the Shen's jewelry name. Just as I was wondering who could be so bold, I discovered that the manager of the live stream was Suhee, and the hosts were Mr. and Mrs. Su. "We are the parents of Shen's jewelry's chief designer, Su Ran," they said, shamelessly using my childhood photos to deceive people. "That's why we can offer our family members an internal price." Shen Junheng asked me how I wanted to handle it. "Go straight to legal proceedings. Fines, sentences, whatever the law dictates. No settlement." The live stream was immediately shut down, and our lawyers filed a lawsuit. "Su Ran, how could you do this to your own parents? Where is your conscience?" A few days later, Mr. and Mrs. Su, along with Suhee, came to the Shen Corporation entrance to cause a scene. I couldn't be bothered with them anymore and called the police. Later, the three of them were detained for disorderly conduct, and they still had the lawsuit and compensation to face. That day, I got a bottle of good red wine and got home before Shen Junheng. "What are you doing hiding in the closet?" the system asked, puzzled. "Just for fun. A surprise for him," I said, gently closing the closet door. "Aren't you two taking things a bit too far? You weren't this kind of girl before," the system snorted. "One more word and you're muted. Points aren't meant to be used like this," it protested. "Get lost." Just then, Shen Junheng came back. I quickly fell silent, peeking at him through the crack in the door. I watched him remove his cufflinks, pull off his tie, and stand with his back to me before the floor-to-ceiling window. "What's wrong, cat got your tongue? You like him that much?" the system tisked beside me. I was about to tell it to shut up when I suddenly heard Shen Junheng speaking. I froze. Because he said, "System, am I about to succeed?" I stood there stunned. I couldn't hear Shen Junheng's system, but from his words, I knew that Shen Junheng was also a pursuer. Only the condition for his success was to defeat Shen Corporation's rival, Lu Corporation, and bankrupt it. "System, did you know all along that he was also a pursuer? Is that why you didn't want me to pursue him?" The system stammered, not answering. No wonder. In the original setup, Shen Junheng and I were, to some extent, in a zero-sum game. If I had successfully pursued Lu Zecheng and lived happily ever after with him, with us working together, Lu Corporation probably wouldn't have fallen with my help. Similarly, if Shen Junheng had brought down Lu Corporation, Lu Zecheng's proud nature would never have allowed him to live a poor life with me, and my pursuit would most likely have ended in failure. And now, I threw open the closet door. Ranran, Shen Junheng immediately turned around. You. Meeting his slightly surprised gaze, I smiled and held up the bottle of red wine. I heard everything. Congratulations on your successful pursuit. Let me explain. He suddenly seemed a bit flustered. It's okay, because I am too. What? He was stunned. I smiled. Tonight, I think we have a lot to talk about. Shen Junheng told me that in his original world, his mother had been framed and forced into a divorce. To give him the best education, she worked multiple jobs and died young from exhaustion. When he grew up, he returned to the Shen family, fought for power against his half-brothers, and eventually defeated them all, becoming the head of Shen Corporation and sending the stepmother who had framed his mother to prison. But he, too, collapsed from overwork and ended up in a coma. The system probably sensed my intense unwillingness to give up and asked if I wanted to come to this world as a pursuer. He turned his head and froze. Ranran, why are you crying? I shook my head. It's nothing. I was just thinking about my own mother from my original world. Coincidentally, I also came from a single-parent family. When I was young, my mother had also sacrificed a lot for me. Later, she met a suitor, and not wanting her to give up her happiness for my sake, I chose to leave her. I haven't contacted her in a long time. She should be very happy now, I said, wiping away my tears. Shen Junheng put down his wine glass and hugged me. Having you as her daughter, she must be very happy. Just then, Shen Junheng's phone received a message. Lu Corporation has officially declared bankruptcy. Shen Junheng's pursuit was a success. Shen Junheng asked me what my pursuit goal was. I didn't tell him the truth. I've actually already succeeded. I just think it's nice here and don't plan on going back, I said. The system was very confused. What good would telling him do? I smiled. The fact that I haven't succeeded yet means that in his heart, I'm not the most important thing. It's not something that will happen just because I say it and he pities me. If you told him, maybe it would increase your chances. I shook my head. System, I'm at a point where I no longer want to beg anyone for love. A few days later, Shen Junheng's system urged him to claim his reward and return to his original world. He came to discuss it with me. I agree, I nodded. You've been here for so long. If you don't go back, be careful that the empire you fought so hard for doesn't change hands. I'm a little worried about you, he said, looking at me. What's there to worry about? I shrugged. You've given me such a huge company. I have more money than I can spend in a lifetime here. I couldn't be happier. Is this really what you want? I nodded. Yes, I'm very sure. So he handed over the company to me and bought a plane ticket to go abroad. The day he left, a light rain began to fall. I didn't go to see him off. Once he's gone, your pursuit will be declared a complete failure, the system said in my ear. See, I told you not to choose him. No good would come of it. You just wouldn't listen. I smiled. System, you know what? This period of time has been the best time I've had in this world. I didn't have to be a simp for anyone, nor did I need anyone to like me. I could be myself, never had to compromise, could get revenge when I wanted, and enjoy myself when I wanted. I think it was well worth it. The system sighed. Actually, I secretly checked the data. With Shen Junheng, you were just a little bit away. Should I apply for you to stay in this world? It would definitely require a new identity, and you wouldn't be able to keep your wealth and all that. Okay, thank you. I tilted my head up. The rain was getting heavier. I forgot my umbrella again. Oh well, getting a little wet is fine. There wasn't much time left anyway. I sat on a park bench, tilted my head back, closed my eyes, and let the rain stream down my hair. Suddenly, an umbrella blocked the rain above my head. I opened my eyes. The man who was supposed to be on a plane was standing in front of me, holding an umbrella. I stared at him stunned. How are you? I realized it was raining before I boarded, he said, crouching down with the umbrella. I was afraid you'd go out without one, so I came back. See, I was right. I just like walking in the rain, I said stubbornly. Aren't you going to miss your flight? His eyes darkened. Ranran, when I said I wanted you all to myself, I wasn't kidding. He sat down beside me and sighed. Today, watching this rain, just the thought of another man holding an umbrella for you in this weather made me want to kill him. So, he stroked my head, I think I'll stay and watch over you. I was stunned. What are you talking about? In your original world, all those things you fought so hard for, your career, you're giving it all up. He nodded. I'm giving it up. Thinking about it now, Those things don't seem so important. Compared to all that, seeing you makes me happier. You must be crazy. I've always been a madman, he said, his hand gently caressing my cheek. So, are you willing to stay with this madman? Click, the streetlight suddenly went out. In the darkness, a cool kiss pressed against my lips. My body was held in a tight embrace. And at that moment, a new voice sounded from above. Congratulations, host. Pursuit of the Yandere villain is successful. Shen Junheng and I could both go home. We handed over Shen Corporation to his younger brother in this world, who had just returned from abroad, and boarded a plane together. On our last day in this world, we held each other in a snowy landscape, watching the beautiful aurora borealis in the distance. As a shooting star streaked across the sky, a familiar voice came from within the aurora. I am the Master System. Congratulations to both pursuers. Next, I will activate the space-time tunnel to send you both back to your original worlds with healthy bodies. And Su Ran, because you chose another pursuer as your target, the difficulty was doubled. Upon success, you will receive an additional generous point reward. What would you like to redeem? Master System, I said, looking at the sky, I've always had a question. Speak. On the day I was reborn, I heard your voice say that I was reborn because of achieving the marriage milestone mid-game and valid point redemption. But at that time, I shouldn't have had any points. I want to know, where did the points that allowed me to be reborn come from? The Master System seemed to fall silent for a moment. It was your mother from your original world, it said after a while. In fact, not long after you fell into a coma, your mother was always by your side at the hospital. When you were about to be erased in this world, your original body also experienced acute failure. Your mother dreamed about your failed pursuit and knelt on the ground, begging to exchange 10 years of her own life for you to have another chance. Tears burst from my eyes. It was Mom, it was really Mom. The mother who had always loved me, who had never given up on me. Then can I exchange all these points for my mother's lifespan? I choked out. Of course, you can add a total of 20 years to her life. Beside me, Shen Junheng held me tightly as I sobbed uncontrollably. Ranrin, let's go home. Let's go home and see Mom. That night, under the brilliant aurora, Shen Junheng and I held hands and went home together. Doctor, quick, my daughter moved, she moved. When I opened my eyes again, I was lying in a hospital bed. Beside me was my mother, who had been watching over me. Ranrin, it's Mom. Mom has always been here. Mom, I raised my hand, took her rough one and smiled faintly. I'm back. She nodded desperately, tears streaming down her face. Next came a series of checkups. A miracle, it's truly a miracle. Her body is completely fine, the doctor marveled. A young nurse beside him giggled. I told you our hospital has good feng shui. That Mr. Shen in the VIP room also woke up just now. The richest man in our city. Who else? They said he was a lost cause, kept alive by a ventilator, and then he suddenly got better. But his mind seems a bit fuzzy since he woke up. I heard he had the Shen family search the entire city for someone named Su Ran, or maybe a different Ran. Don't know if it's an enemy or what. You said who is looking for who? I asked, stunned. Miss Su, your name sounds right. The young nurse leaned in, grinning. That Mr. Shen is said to be quite scary. You better not get mistakenly captured. Where is the VIP room? I asked urgently, grabbing the nurse's arm. 16th floor. I jumped out of bed. Hey, Miss Su, your shoes. I got on the elevator and rushed to the 16th floor. The VIP room was at the end of the hallway. I pushed open the door. But the bed in the distance was empty. Miss, are you? Someone approached to ask. I might have the wrong room. She is Su Ran. A familiar voice suddenly came from behind me. I whipped my head around. He was standing right behind me, wearing a hospital gown, a bit thinner than before, but as handsome as ever. Our eyes met, and we both smiled. He walked closer and pulled me into a tight hug. Ranrin, he whispered in my ear. For the wedding dress here, do you still want a mermaid style?